Good evening, all. I hope you can hear me. A quick show of hands would be good for me. Uh, yes? Can someone just confirm that I'm audible?
Yes.
Yes, good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your confirmation. So, yeah, we have got the entire room in here. And let's start. It's 4 p.m. and let's start. Thank you very much for coming in. And I really appreciate your presence here today. For the simple reason that all of you had an option of spending this next 90 to 120 minutes doing something else. But I'm grateful and obliged that you decided that you would look at something which will probably force you to look at your business differently. I will just take off this virtual background because this is going to create a confusion. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Yeah. So now let's look at some areas of interest to all of us. And I understand most of you are from a business background. And I hope that some of you who have decided to get into business today are not wanting or not feeling that you should have stayed back in your employment. So a quick question to all of you, a quick question. How many of you, and you can write this on your chat box, how many of you are a business owner, an entrepreneur? Can I have some quick chats, please? Yeah, most of you business owners. Fantastic, fantastic, good, fantastic. The question, Rajesh, is how many of you believe you're a business owner, an entrepreneur? That was the question. So while I wait for you to think through, let me give you a quick background about who I am. Okay, there's some answers that are keep on coming in. I am. Okay, fantastic, Rajesh. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. Quick background about who I am so that we can take this discussions forward. So I spent a lot of time in industry, about 25 years in industry. Worked in multiple organizations, global organizations across geographies in India, West Africa, Middle East. And today I run 3 companies. One of the companies is Beyond Red Ocean Consulting, which is in the space of life coaching and business coaching. And as a business coaching, we partner with Action Coach, which is world's largest business coaching company. And I'll tell you more about Action Coach. I'm a director in the company and I'm stakeholder in a company called Quinton Air and Odor Management. We are launching, or we have launched, and we continue to launch innovative products in infection control. There's some patented technologies that are coming in, and God has been kind that we are probably there in the right time at the right place, though COVID is not something that we desired. I'm also part of a executive search company called Hired Desk Management Services. We're based out of Mumbai, and we cater to middle and senior management professionals for multiple organizations. And as a Bengali and as a foodie, I own a company called Pet Bhore. In Bengali, it means stomach full. And we are a cloud kitchen concept. We don't have a restaurant. We have a cloud kitchen concept. We cater to authentic Bengali food. So between these four businesses and my teaching assignment, so I teach in multiple B schools. One of the areas that we constantly focus upon, how do we improve the way business owners have been running businesses? And please don't misunderstand me. You guys, whoever is in business, have been excellent in your businesses. You are there because you believe in what you do. You're an expert in the business that you are in. But unfortunately, in the Indian context and in the global context, not too many institutions teach us how to run a business. There are organizations or institutions which teach us how to become a doctor or a CA, but very few institutions teach us how to run a business. And that was the foundation of Action Coach, which I am a franchise partner of in Mumbai. Action Coach started in 1996, so it's about 24-year-old company. It has been globally recognized as world's #1 business coaching firm, set up by Brad Sugars, an Australian. Started off from Australia, and today Action Coach's headquarters in Las Vegas. We operate through 1,000 coaching offices in 76 countries. And we coach about 15,000 businesses every week. And at the end of the session, I can share with you how we do the process and why we say that we coach businesses every week. One of the areas that we constantly work with is world abundance through business re-education. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm not going to teach anybody how to run a business, because that's what you have been doing. That's where you are great at. We'll just talk about somewhere in the lines of business and how can you reach your goals faster, quicker, and more efficiently. And we believe that if more and more businesses continue to survive and sustain, there will be a lot more employment generation in this world. And through employment generation, there will be abundance, there will be employment, and indirectly, it would impact the lives of millions of people and also the economic development of the world. So if I'm helping a business owner grow by 40-50% in his revenues and profits in the next, say, 12 months, 18 months, it also means that he's going to require a few more hands to run his business, and there will be employment creation. And we'll talk about it, about how we do it. But today I want you to start off with thinking on one area. And that's a promise that we need to make to ourselves for the next 90 minutes to 120 minutes. Post today, we may or may not interact. I hope you will continue to interact, but we may or may not interact because there's no commitment that we are assigning. But this is one single message that I want all of you to take through. I was having this conversation today about an hour back. And this gentleman asked me, what do you do? And I said, I'm a business coach and I work with SMEs and the MSME sector, helping them grow. And his reaction was, but MSME sector is in the doldrums currently. And I said, yes, it is in the doldrums. But we have an option. We either put our feet up and say nothing is going to change, and hence I'm not going to do anything about it, or I take the responsibility in my hand and say, what else can I do? How do I help? And that is the point of power that I'm speaking about, because as adults, we are always in a state of blames, excuses, and denials. And you must have seen, and all of you who run businesses or you're a professional, you would see when you're having a meeting, having a review meeting, the sales guy passing the buck to the market, to the production guy, saying that the products are not getting manufactured. He's not making the product as per the specifications. The production guy passing the buck on to the supply chain guys that he's not getting the right raw materials in time. The supply chain guy pushing it to the finance guy, saying that he doesn't have money to pay the vendors, and hence the vendors are not supplying. And the finance guy pushing the buck back to the salesperson. He's not collecting, have the money and the cash flows to generate cash in the revenue. And all of them are just doing two things. One is they're blaming each other and they're coming out with excuses for not doing what they're supposed to do. And they're constantly in the face of denial. And the business owner who's put in his hard-earned money into the business and he wants the business to run is pulling his hair out and say, what do I do? Because as adults, we are always on bed. We are always finding that 99 reasons why something cannot be done. Whereas I am asking you today, I'm imploring of you, humbly imploring of you, find that one reason why things can be done. Because we need to be controlling the ore of our lives. We need to be taking ownership of our lives. We need to be taking accountability of our lives, and we need to be responsible for our lives, because there's nobody else who's going to come and stand up for us. We may sit in our room having a drink together and blame China and blame Wuhan and blame the Donald Trump and blame Narendra Modi and blame Shaktikanta Das and blame Nirmala Sitharaman. We can sit back and blame everybody. But is that going to give us a solution? Because we need to be in a state of power. We need to believe that I can turn around my family and my business. And I need to figure out for myself, how do I do it? And that can happen only when we look at life with positivity and we take control of the ore. The acronyms are very interesting. If we decide to be in bed, we can be in bed throughout our life and not do a single thing and blame the world. Or we can say, I will maneuver my boat in the direction that I wanted to go. Yes, I will be hit by a demonetization big wave. I'll be hit by, and look at the world and people who have been in business for the last 20 years. You will know that since the late 90s, we have been constantly told that the world will come to an end, businesses will come to an end, starting with Y2K, 1998, 99. That first January 2000, the world will come to an end, everything will crash. Then comes the terror attack in New York. And we are told that the world will change, and it did change. Then comes the attack then comes the subprime crisis. Then you have the terror attack in Mumbai. Then you have the demonetization. Then you have GST, and now you have COVID. We have faced these kind of situations again and again and again, and the world still wakes up and says, how can we move ahead? We can be, if we are controlling that boat with the oar in our hand, yes, we will be hit by those big waves, the demonet wave, the GST wave, the COVID wave, the terror attack wave, the subprime crisis wave. But if the oar is firmly in our hands, yes, there will be temporary shuddering, but then we still will go towards that direction. But if we are lying in that boat, If you're lying in that boat, doing nothing, the oar somewhere else, then you can just visualize where will our lives be throughout the journey of life. So a humble request, whoever is in business, and this is what I do when I coach my businesses, I tell them take a print and put it up on a wall. And we train them how not to be on bed and how to take ownership, accountability, responsibility, every employee. And we also put up a box. And we say that anyone who personally believes, self-introspection, that he will be in his, whatever he says is in below the point of power, put a 100 rupee note in that box. End of the month will go to charity, not to the business owner's pocket. Do that. You will see, without doing too much in your businesses, your business will, the entire concept of business will change. The mindsets of people will change. Having said that, Rajesh told me that he's a business owner. The other people who told me they're business owners. I have a simple question. How many of you, business owners or employees, but typically business owners, can take a 6-month holiday, go to Bahamas, leave your phone and email behind, and when you come back after 6 months, the business will be rocking? How many of you believe you can do that? Chat box, please. Anybody? Rajesh, let's think about your business. Can you do that? How many of us can do that? Utopia, Shazad? Oh, absolutely utopia. Absolutely. Mr. V. Banushali, no, we can't. Looks impossible, Rajesh. Absolutely looks impossible. Absolutely impossible. For most of us, it's impossible. So let's think about your business. Is your business driving you, or are you driving your business? Think about it. Very powerful slide, very powerful 2 statements I'm making out here. Is your business driving you? Is everything dependent on of that business dependent on you? That boss aayega to kaam hoga, boss bolega to kaam hoga, or saying, I have brought in the systems, I brought in cash flows, I brought in strategies, I have great team who knows exactly where I will go. Are you like that pigeon? Good old days, the messenger pigeons. Is your business like that pigeon that you just tie a message and the pigeon knows where to go? Is it like that horse that was trained, and even if the rider died or was severely injured, the horse knew where to go? Believe me, 90% of the business owners that I talk to are saying, like Shazad said, utopia. I was talking to a business owner the other day. He says, well, let's stop talking about making money. I have enough and more money. Tell me, can you help me reduce my 6.5 days that I'm working in the business always? My question again to all of you is, are you in the business or are you on the business? Because if you're not on the business, if you're not strategizing about your business, if you're not thinking about your next level of growth for your business, if you're just firefighting in your business and looking at day-to-day operations, customers, suppliers, vendors, who is thinking about your business? Who is strategizing about your business? Why are we not able to do that? So whether it is a second, third generation business owner, or if it's a first generation business owner, I have the same question. I was talking to a person yesterday and she said that she's confident that her children will take over the business. I said, fantastic. But what if the children doesn't take over? Or what if the children has other passions in life? Are you going to push them into the business because you have no one else to go to? Because as far as action is concerned, action coach is concerned, the number one reason for business failure is burnout. Statistics have said that 80% of the businesses fail in the first 5 years. But that's okay. We still accept it. Wrong product, wrong service, wrong targeting of customer, wrong positioning, could be multiple reasons. But the worrying piece is that of the balanced 20% who have survived, 50% perish. Sorry, not 50, 15% perish in the next 5 years. And the primary reason is the burnout. How long can a business owner be on that seesaw constantly catering to customers, doing his BD, and coming back and getting his deliveries in place? And once he thinks that he has done enough of that, he hires people. But because the people have not been trained and there is no hiring process in the organization and there are no systems in the organization, these people create more fire in the businesses, and this business owner now goes around the mulberry tree putting out those fires and finally gives up the entire concept and says, enough is enough, I will sack all of them and go back to my seesaw. How long can you do that? Where is your life? We all have personal aspirations to fulfill. A business is not a business, it's a means to fulfill our personal goals, which could be either money, could be holidays, could be charity. A lot of business owners run businesses because they use the money to do social activities. But if you don't have a systemized business, the challenge is that you will get into burnout very quickly. And the worrying part is we are seeing that greater and greater amount of first generation businesses failing to get into the second generation because the children are no longer interested and the systems have not been created. Maybe 30, 40 years back, we used to see 3 or 4 generations. Today, we are not seeing that. As action, we believe there has to be a systemized way of doing things because this is our definition of a business. It has to be a commercial business. It has to be a profitable enterprise. But most importantly, that works without you. And during the next 90 minutes or lesser than 90 minutes, I'll show you how globally this works. And if post that you have any questions, either today or at a later date, I'm happy to get into a conversation with you. But this definition for us is sacrosanct. The business should be so well structured that you should be able to run the business without you. If you want to go to the business, no one is telling you don't go to the business. No one is telling you, please don't go to the business. But it should be out of choice. It should be out of choice because your business can survive and work without you. And you have now the time and the freedom to do whatever you want. Either go and grow this business or use the income from this and do another business, or go out and enjoy your life. But before we get into that, let me just step back for a while. It was in February, March, end February, when I was talking to my business coaching clients, and for many of them, fiscal 20 had not been too good because India was going through a recession, or not a recession, a slowdown. But January had started pretty well for a lot of organizations. January had gone well, part of February was going well. And people were excited about FY21. And we were talking in terms of marketing plans, products, expansions, investments, hiring. We're talking in all of those terms in February, early March. But by early March, that realization started coming in that Corona is no longer going to be like SARS, which is going to be China and a few other countries specific. Because earlier we thought, all of us thought, that it was more of the SARS kind of thing, would limited to that market of China and so on and so forth. And by March, Maharashtra had started slowing down. Then we had the one-day curfew. And by 25th of March, we went into an entire lockdown. And the question now comes up, nobody knew what is the future going to hold. Nobody knew when things will restart. And we had to quickly recalibrate our strategies with our business owners. And we came out with 3 runways for success. Because for us, the word success is paramount. We need to be successful. Our goals have to be achieved. The roads to achieving those goals can change. The 3 runways for success that we came out with, and we started implementing first week of April with our business owners. So the timelines that we have set here are, please take into note that these are first week of April onwards. So for the 2 months from April, May, and the way things are panning out, we are more or less on these numbers. Because today, I think even though Maharashtra has extended the lockdown, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Punjab has extended the lockdown till 31st May, there's a good possibility that from 1st of June, a lot of sectors will slowly start recovering. We are not currently guesstimating about if there is a second wave of Corona that will come. But the fact of the matter is that we have to live with Corona, and we have to live with our economy. We cannot just wait and watch perpetually for 0 cases. 0 cases will never happen. I think we have to live with Corona. So what were the 3 things that we said that we should be doing during the survival phase? And we call this the survival phase. The survival phase was 3 questions needed to be answered. What would I do and how would I revive my business once the opportunity comes? During this period, what are those opportunities that are emerging, the new opportunities? Because there will be some opportunities that will be going, new opportunities will be emerging. And do I, as a business owner, need to pivot? If I foresee that my current business will take a severe hit, and especially if it's a hospitality industry, how do I pivot 30 degrees left and right? Because pivoting is important. And we all need to be aware that in life, all of us need to pivot. We cannot be stagnant, or we cannot be standstill. We also needed to look at our product portfolio. And the 6 messages that we sent out to our business owners is, first is communication. First couple of weeks itself was very dicey, not dicey, very difficult. Because we are all used to working together in the same place. Now people are at different locations, and we do not know what they are doing. So, and people are worried whether the job will remain, whether they'll get the money in place. Their EMIs had to be paid, and a lot of things were happening. A lot of stresses were going on. So we said crisis communication. Communicate with your with your team every single day. Whatever location they are in, communicate with them, and communicate with them honestly. Because they will forgive you if you take hard decisions, but they'll never forgive you if you keep them in the dark. So communicate with them honestly, that things today are looking okay. We'll be able to pay you for next 3 months. But if businesses don't pick up, we may have to take salary cuts. We have to take a lot of other cuts, maybe retrenchment as well. That's the key. As a business owner, and I keep on saying this to all my business owners, coaching clients and prospects, that we have to be made out of a different material altogether. We may be having our own internal stresses, but we have to be so resilient because people are looking up to us for motivation and energy, whether it's our family members or our employees. We now also start to look at newer opportunities. What can we do? And this is where the pivoting comes in. Where can I align myself? If my current business, I was talking to a business prospect of mine. He was about to sign off before the lockdown, and he's in the jewelry business. And we all know jewelry business will take a big hit. So today we are working out plans how we can pivot, but that 30 degrees pivoting left, right, that 60 degrees will not work from him. He has to do something totally different so that he emerges successful, but not necessarily unscathed in a year's time from now, when he can go back into his original business. So without losing track of the core, what are the opportunities that you can come up with? The third key is preserve cash under any circumstances, and we'll get into cash flow management quickly. Preserve cash under any circumstances. The fourth is retain customers. You need to honor all your commitments, because once the business restarts, you want your customers there for you. And I've seen so many messaging out when I send out a few emails, auto mails come back, auto responses come back that we're closed for the week, we're adhering to government policies and hence we are closed. We will get in touch with you once things revive. Is that the message that your customer wants? Please remember, the customer has choices. He's reaching out to you because he needs you now. And it's our responsibility to retain that customer. We need to constantly invest in marketing. And I was doing a Facebook Live yesterday that how our entire sales and marketing has changed. Your outbound sales of going and meeting customers, trade shows, association meetings, networking meetings are going to be zilch in the next 6 months. How do you go and meet your customers? So now is the time to revisit your entire digital marketing strategy and say, how can my customers find me? Because make no mistake, your customers are still looking for you. But are you there where your customers are looking for you? Your website, your blogs, your videos, what are all the other things that you're doing? And finally, under any circumstances, you have to retain your A team. This is what I did with a couple of my clients. We did a 10-70-20 breakdown of people. The top 10 I want under any circumstances. I can't let them go, because once the businesses get into the revival phase, the 10% is required. The 70% is that, okay, he comes to work and he's doing okay. I will want him as well. I also need to identify my bottom 20, that if push comes to a shove, who are those 20% of the people who needs to go from that organization? Not that I want them to go, but also on the other hand, they have not justified their presence in my business. I want them to go. I may have to let them on. But for that is a secondary. My first is, how do I retain my A team? So once you have tided over these 2 months, and hopefully come June, we will be now looking at the revival phase. How do I revive my business? What are the things that I need to do to revive my business? Because we are foreseeing that your revival, and not growth as yet, the next 3 to 4 months would be a revival. What are the new opportunities that I've identified? So once you start reopening, you have to look for great talent. You already have your A talent, and if necessary, you have to let go of your C. But you also have to get in great talent to run your business. If you can't hire them because they're expensive, get them as consultants. There will be people that are available in the marketplace. Focus on getting talent, because too many of our businesses are too much hard work driven and not process driven. And we want businesses to move into the process driven phase. And for that, you need great talent. As a business owner, now you need to start deleveraging your risks. You have to start looking at markets and geographies, because not all markets and all geographies behave the same way. Some of your products could be cyclical, and some of your markets could be cyclical. So we need to now expand that base. And this is the time, so next 4 months, this is the time, because your reserves have been depleted, paying salaries and rental income and whatever, how do you start building on the reserves? Make no mistake again that your costs need to be under control, because your reserves need to be built. These are actionable points that we take with our business coaching clients. Because once this revival phase, and our estimates are that from June for next 4 months, end of September, October, because no one can predict, it could be August, it could be September, it could be October, you will start getting into the growth phase. And this is what we call the runway for growth. It will not grow immediately, but you will land on the growth runway, which will be 24 months. In the next 24 months, your business should be much better than what it was or what it is on 31st March 2020. If you follow this, and the rest. So your visions need to be now reset. Your mission and vision statements need to be reset, because India will be a land of opportunity. Only factor is, should we be ready? And the first thing that needs to be ready is our mind. And today I shared an article about your branding, about your personal branding of the business owners. These are all part of your communication. Need to start identifying from your revival phase, where is your next exponential growth coming from? Growth will be exponential, but where is it coming from? Look at businesses. Some are doing exceptionally well, even in current circumstances. Some are doing well, and some are not doing well. Not for their fault, but a lot of companies who have pivoted, a clothing company pivoting into making masks and PPE, are doing phenomenally well. A furniture making company pivoting into hospital beds quickly because they have the infrastructure are doing well. Sugar companies pivoting into hand sanitizers doing well. A lot of companies getting into the PPE space. They are doing well. FMCG will do well. Pharma companies will do well. Healthcare companies will do well. E-commerce companies will do well. Not now, but 2 months from now. All these companies are going to do well. So our pivoting has to happen. Who would have thought 2 months, 3 months back that I would be spending my maximum amount of time in front of the screen? Because the B schools where I teach, they have pivoted. Their students are coming online now. NMIS is starting a course every Monday to Saturday, 2 weeks, 7 to 9:30 online. I don't have to go. And people who understand Bombay will know that how difficult it is to travel 30 kilometers. My productivity has increased. So I have my coaching clients, I have my life coaching clients, I have my teaching, because I have pivoted. Because B schools have pivoted, because my clients have pivoted. So this is the runway for growth. Now this runway for growth will happen, and you will be able to get into that utopia, like Shahzad said, and someone else said that he can't go, if you follow the 6 steps of massive results. The 6 steps that we follow are building mastery, and I'll come to all of them, where I bring in, or we as Action Coach bring in, control on your businesses. Because most of the businesses, and no offense meant to anybody of you, because I'm sure you guys are doing very well, most businesses are running like headless chickens. They don't know where they are today. They don't know where they want to go. They have no systems in place. They have no documentation in place. The entire business is run on the bank balance as on the end of the month. The deliveries are, sorry to pardon me for using this word, screwed up. The business owner or head of the business is constantly on 5 different phones, managing customers and vendors and people. And he has transformed that entire word business, B-U-S-I-N-E-S-S, to B-U-S-Y-N-E-S-S, is as if on a treadmill, running at full speed, but not going anywhere. So we need to bring control into the business by bringing in certain control mechanisms. Because once that is in place, once we all have our minds in our business, then we can move into the interesting and the enjoyable part is on niche, which is bringing in predictable cash flow. How many of us have a predictable cash flow today? Forget today, because COVID era. But even in January, did we have a rolling 12-month forecast of cash flows? From where is the money going to come? Because your investment should be a function of the money coming, and investment should not be a function of the money in the bank balance. So that predictability of the cash flow needs to come in, and we'll talk more about that. Then comes the leveraging, which we say bringing in systems in place. How do you increase efficiencies in your business of doing more with less? Once you have done all that, and you will see that we are not talking about systems at the first level, because systems cost money. And without money in place, to bring in systems has no meaning. And once the system are in place, then we go out and hire great people. You may need to hire people even now, but the great people who are going to take over your business from you, not in terms of ownership, but in terms of functionality, whether it's a CEO, general manager, MD, whatever you may call. You want to be now moving to the owner's bracket and not the management side. These 4 steps, if done well, will give you freedom. As a business owner, you will get freedom. You will have passive income. You will have time in your hands. And then you can look at what you want to do with the business, grow this business, franchise out, expand, or look at something else as a business, or go and fulfill your personal aspirations. So let's look at each one of them quickly, because I don't want to bore you with too much content at this point in time. When we talk in terms of mastery, we talk in terms of how are you building a well-oiled commercial enterprise. And please don't mistake me, you're all a commercial enterprise, but the well-oiled is something that I'm asking all of you. The first bit of mastery, we talk in terms of money mastery, destination mastery, time mastery, and delivery mastery. Let's quickly look into money mastery. People talking, when I talk in terms of cash flows, a lot of business owners come to me and say, and I ask them, when I start coaching with them, this is the first area that we address, that we want their cash flows to improve. Because as a business coach, I'm a business coach, right? And I'm selling myself. I want that business owner to make money out of me. I should not only be paying for my fees, but also he should be making money out of me. Only then I am adding value into the business. So the first area that we talk in terms of is money mastery. And so these business owners tell me when they have a cash flow crunch, I ask them, how are you going to come out of this cash flow crunch? They said, sir, we'll have to go and sell more. But the challenging bit is that you can be a profitable company. You have to look at your balance sheets and your P&L separately. You could be a profitable company, but you can have a negative cash flow because your profit is stuck somewhere else. And we need to pull out that profit from there. To survive, either you are selling your assets to generate that excess cash, or you're diluting your stake in the business and you're generating cash, or you're increasing debt and working capital. And if you see what has happened in the Indian context over the last many years, the NPAs, that have gone up is because we have not worked on our cash flows. And we have kept on increasing our debt and working capital, thinking that will help us stay afloat. But that is only a temporary phenomenon. Yes, debt is required in business. Working capital is required in business. No business can work without with zero working capital debt required. But what is that optimum level that where you know you should stop? Most of the companies that I talk to, they believe that the only way to increase cash flow is to go and increase sales. And I tell them it's actually the contrary. Actually the contrary. Let's look at your numbers. Let's look at your numbers. And this is a statement that you can use it. You can take a photograph of it and use it. Track your accounts receivable in days for the last 4 years. And invariably, you will see your receivables have gone up. Invariably, 99% of the organizations would see this phenomenon that 2018-19 over 2017 would be higher, and 19-20 over 2018 would be higher. It would be on an increasing curve. What are the measures that you can take to bring it down by 5 days? And I'm given an arbitrary number because typically, I've seen numbers from 90 days to 180 days as your outstandings. And even if it's 180 days as your average outstanding, or 140 days as your average outstanding, the highest being 180, bringing it down by 5 to 10 days will have a significant impact on your cash flow. Try this exercise. If you want help, I can come and work with you on this. Inventory holding, second. Again, as you increase sales, your inventory goes up. And again, the trajectory that we have seen in most companies, it is going up year on year. Look at a company like Dell. When they started off, their inventory holding was 30 days. Today, it is less than 1 day. You can become more efficient by working on your inventory holding, because please understand there is a difference between cash flow and there's a difference between cash gap. Cash gap is the period on the day you have paid off your vendors to get the raw material. You've got the raw material from your vendors, you have paid him off. That product, that raw material goes into making your finished product. That finished product is now sitting in your warehouse. That product is now being sold. That is going to your customer's place. Now the customer is taking his own accounts receivable in days to pay you off. And on the day he pays off, that is the difference, is cash gap. And look at your days of cash gap. How can you become more efficient in your cash gap? How can you make it more just-in-time kind of procurement? How can you work with your vendors into just-in-time procurement? How can your forecasting be better so that the raw material doesn't sit too long in your inward warehouse? How can it get into your manufacturing as quickly as possible? How can you crash your manufacturing processes? How can you make it more efficient? How can you now push it to the customer's end as quickly as possible? Yes, there will always be inventory holding. No one can say that it will become 0 days or 1 day or 10 days. Yes, there will. But if you look at your average, and if you reduce by 5 days, 10 days, you will see the significant impact that it brings on your cash flow. And once its cash flow impact comes in, your working capital requirement reduces, your working capital requirement reduces, your interest outflow reduces. You're becoming much and more profitable as an organization. Third is your accounts payable. Now you turn it on your head. I was talking to a business owner the other day, and he says the small business, about 5-6 crores. Says his wife looks after the vendor payment. And she comes once a week every Saturday, and she pays off the vendor payments. So in most of the cases, the vendors are paid off not exceeding 15 days. Now, when your customers are paying you in say 130, 140, 150 days, what is the point in paying your vendors in 15 days? Without spoiling relationships, by talking to the vendors and becoming more smart, we extended that to 20 days, 5 days, not more, 5 days. And that 5 days of extension of accounts payable to vendors had a significant impact on the cash flows. Are we doing these things? Who is doing this? Because you as a business owner is so much in the business because you don't have time to be on the business. And this is all on the business. Admin expenses. We have a simple fundamental. Any individual or activity in an organization which is not enabling customer acquisition, customer maintenance, and customer satisfaction has no reason to be in the system. So if you say admin person who takes care of your salesperson, and your salesperson are getting more effective in the marketplace, so be it. I agree. But look at your admin expenses and look at explore areas for reduction. Do you need that office of that size? Do you need all the infrastructure that you're using of that scale? Can you target a simple 5% reduction of admin expenses in the coming year? I am assuring you this. If all three lines are on an the two lines or the accounts receivable and inventory holding and admin are on the increasing gradient, by bringing it down by 4 or 5 days, the days are up to you because it all depends on the actual data that you have in place. By working on these, your cash flow challenges can be met, and not by doing anything on sales. But also remember this, if you don't focus on this and you focus only on sales, your cash flow requirement will keep on spiraling upwards, because the more you sell, the more your accounts receivable will go up, which in any case is high. Your inventory holding will go up, your admin expenses will go up, all will go up. So the more you focus on sales, the more these go up, the more your cash flow requirements are getting hit, the more you're looking at getting working capital from somewhere else. The more you take working capital from somewhere else, the more your interests have payable goes up and your profits start taking a hit. Unfortunately, most business owners are not acting as business owners, they're acting as employees. And they're not happy dealing with numbers. We as coaches, we as action coach, we need to bring them back into the numbers game. And these are the numbers that I want you to look at, even if you don't align with anybody from action coach. Are you reviewing or your P&L on a balance sheet on a monthly basis? You, not your accountant. All of us push it to our accountant, that accountant is doing it. And at the end of the year, this comes as a shock to you. What are your break-even? Do you know your break-evens? Are we in track with industry benchmarks? Do we know even industry benchmarks? Do we've done any study on industries? Do we know our true margins for every product? And there are two bits to it, true margins. Everyone tells me they have a margin of 10%, 12%, 13%, 15%, 20%, 25%. Various numbers comes in. I'm asking true margins. And the question is, most business owners don't know the true margins. And my true margins are that, have you included your cost as a business owner in calculation of your true margins? And 95% of business owners come and say, no, we haven't. Now, today you haven't. 4 steps later, when you're handing over the business to the CEO, his costs have to be taken into account. What will you do then? You are today projecting 25% margins. That guy's costs come in, your margin comes down to 12%. Is there any synchronization? How is your family running? What are you eating? Are you putting all the costs on your business? Not fair. There has to be some money that you need to pull out as salary, as director's salary, whatever you may want to call it. Your true margins need to be known. And when I ask again business owners, what are your margins in the business? He said, sir, 10-12%, 15% ho jata hai. I said, okay. What are your margins by every product? Do you know margins of every product? Because if you don't know which are your low margin products and which are your high margin products, how are you going to create your sales strategies? Your sales strategy should be pushing the high margin products. But today you don't even know what are your high margin products. I am not interested in knowing the overall margins of the business. I want to know what are your margins per product. Do you have a 12-month rolling cash flow statement? Do I know what is going to happen in April of next year? That's projection. That these are the orders that are expected, these are the cash outflows, these are cash inflows. Because if you are not having a cash flow statement, on what basis are you making investment decisions? Is it based on what money that you have in the bank? And that could be part of your working capital itself. So if you use working capital, your burn rate will be higher. So as business owners, we now still need to look at businesses as business owners and not as employees. Because if you don't do this, then that utopia word will constantly be with us. Because then we are running from phone to phone, from customer to customer, and end of the month asking our accountant, paisa kitna hai bank mein? How much money do I have in the bank? That is not a way to run businesses. So first is the money mastery piece. The second, okay, because money mastery closes with these three statements. I don't want to be a 100 crore company. I don't want to be a 100 crore company with a 10% profit margins and negative cash flow, because all my money is stuck in inventory or in accounts receivable. I can be a 10 crore company, but having 10% cash. So for me, the size of the business doesn't matter. For me, what matters today is what is the cash that I have? Because sales is always going to be vanity. You may go and sit at the airport or in a club or in a networking event and say, I run a 500 crore business, because no one asks you what's the cash that you have in your business. And I, as a small guy, will say I am a 1 crore business, but I put my head up and say I'm 1 crore business with 10% cash profits. And not too many businesses can boast of a 10% margin of cash profit. Oh, this is something that you should write in front of your wall, wherever you're operating, your office, your house, your bed, wherever. Because this has to be a realization that needs to come in very quickly. Because if this doesn't come in very quickly, the challenges are we will be running around that treadmill constantly. Second, what is the destination? We need to clarify goals. There's no use going and building a business if you have no idea where you want to take your business to. And questions that I ask people today, and I get a zilch out of most of them, not all of them, most of them, that in 5 years from now, what is the dream revenue that you want to earn? You may throw in a number, 100 crore, 200 crore, 500 crore, but I can assure you there's no roadmap. It's a dream without a path. You have all started your businesses or joined your businesses with personal goals in mind. Are those personal goals still relevant? So when we start our coaching processes, we do alignment consultation, because your alignment of personal goals and professional goals have to be in place for us to take the business to where it should go. You need to define the number of families that you will be taking care of. What kind of employee strength I will have. You must define what you want to do, and there's no point defining what you don't want. I don't want anybody of my coaching clients to go below the point of power, because this don't want is below the point of power. So the clarity that needs to come in from your business is the only thing that will lead to success. The third piece that we address when we are in the mastery is the time mastery. Do we know we are all working 10, 12, 14, 15 hours? Do we know where we are spending our time? Are we keeping a track on where we are spending our time? Do we have a default diary with an action plan? That these are the time slots that I'll do review meetings. These are customer meetings. This is my learning, self-development, so on and so forth. Because as business owners, you need to instill this default diary in every individual's calendar. Because you should know what they are doing and they should know what they're accountable for. And when we talk about the team piece, we will talk more in terms of the default diary. Because unfortunately, what is happening is that most of the day, we are spending in that 60% demand of urgent and important, because we are in the firefighting space. We are not in the space of planning. Because the planning and the strategizing comes in at that 20%, which is not urgent today, but it's important. Because if it's not addressed today, it will move into the next layer, which is the urgent and important, which is the demand phase. And when we are firefighting, we are there. And then we are in the balance 20% of our time, we are doing the not so important stuff. The Facebooks, the WhatsApp, the chit-chatting, the coffees, the calls. And there are so many people in the organization who will come and eat our time, and we call them the time wasters. Are we aware as business owners and as leaders in our business, where is our time going and where is the time of our individuals going? Because if we need to be more productive, if we need to earn more money, we need to be more productive. Earning money can be done in two ways: by increasing the number of people and increasing the productivity of an existing team. And it is no one's guess which is a better option as a business owner, which costs less money to implement. So many organizations I've seen people going there, sitting with their phone, watching YouTube videos because they have nothing else to do. It's not a fault of theirs. It's the fault of the organization, that the organization has not structured itself. When we work with our coaching clients, we move over time. Obviously, it can't happen overnight. Over time, we move our coaching clients, the business owners, into moving on the business, that 20%. Once you move in there, then the rest of the things fall in place. The fourth is your destination mastery. And you can put a hand on your heart and check for yourself how many of our businesses do not have customer complaints about delivery, quality of delivery, on-time delivery, and return rate. Because this is where many businesses are struggling. I was coaching a client of mine, and he was very, very gung-ho about his operations. And I said, how easy is it for your customer to find you and place an order with you? He says, absolutely easy. I said, okay, fine. Call up on your landline. So this business owner was with me in a cafe, and we're undergoing a coaching session. He called upon his landline, acting as a customer. And after 10 rings, this guy picks up the call. Ha kai paise in Marathi, which means what do you want? Is this the way you're talking to your customer? Now the excuses came in, the receptionist had gone for a cup of tea and so on and so forth. But where is the system? And to top it all, this poor chap, who's the security guy who taking the call, couldn't understand head tail of what product was being asked for. So the call went on from 5 different people, and my business owner client was turning like a tomato in front of me, because he didn't expect his business to be operating in this way. So please go and check out in your business. Call up your business. Once the business opens, call up your salesperson from an unknown number, because the mobile numbers I'm sure are saved. Call up your salesperson and check how easy is it for a customer to get information redressal about your business. I tell you, there's so much work that is to be done at that level for your business if you want to be in Bahamas. Because if you do this, and we constantly work, we coach 15,000 businesses globally every week. When we do this, the next part becomes interesting. So once we have addressed the chaos to control piece, so this is what we are bringing in control into the business. And this is how you can bring in control into the business. Then we move into the predictable cash flows, which we call niche. So the commercial we have done, now we want your business to be profitable. You're already profitable. I want you to be more profitable. Now, the two areas that we work here is, for us, a definition of a niche is no price competition. And I know every individual out in this room who's there with me currently is saying, Mola, you don't understand our business. There is no way you can get into price competition. No price competition. And I'm telling you this. We've heard this statement from every single country that we operate in, because our mindsets are the same. We are all individuals with the same mindsets. The fact of the matter is, tomorrow, if I want to call up a car tire dealer and ask him for tires, availability of tires, he would say, yes, the tires are available. And the next question that I typically ask him is, what are the price? What is the price of the tire? And as soon as he replies to the question on price, the game is over. As soon as he has replied to my question on price, the game is over, because the further conversations will no longer be on the product, but on the price. There's one word in English dictionary starting with a D, which is called as discounting, which kills more businesses than anything else in this business, in this world. If you're talking to a customer who's seeking discounts, and if your target customer is going to be only your customers who ask for discount, what is the guarantee that tomorrow there will not be another supplier who's discounting it more than you? So we need to move away from a no price competition and trying to sell value. Our product should be sold on value, and our salespeople should be trained to sell on value. And look at this, and for that we need to have a unique selling proposition and a guarantee. Look at a product like a Domino's pizza, not a great product by any stretch of imagination, but with a unique selling proposition of a 30-minute delivery. My top of mind for a pizza is always going to be a Domino's pizza. And with that, he has given a guarantee that if he doesn't deliver in 30 minutes, he gives it to me free. I am asking you, have you defined your unique selling proposition for your product? Is it been communicated to in every communication tool? Does your salesperson know? Is it on the website? Is it on the card, business card? Is it on your brochure? We, as Action Coach, give a unique selling proposition and a guarantee that if you don't see value in the first 17 weeks of working with us, we stop invoicing. That's your guarantee. We stop invoicing till you tell me that Malloy, I am getting value from your from the coaching, and now you can start invoicing. And if you don't tell me for the balance part of the year, I will coach you free. And this is a unique selling proposition, because we are the only company in the world, in the business coaching company, who does this. And we come with this guarantee, which has been communicated everywhere. Our business cards have it, our websites have it, our documents which go out to our clients have it. We having this unique selling proposition and guarantee. I am asking you, what is your unique selling proposition? Why can't it be defined? Yesterday, I was in a sales coaching workshop, and this gentleman came and told me, but we are in the generic space, generic chemical space. We cannot have a unique selling proposition on the product. I said, what about unique selling proposition on knowledge of you as a business owner? Because you're selling knowledge. Your customer calls you, do you have all those answers, and can you give it to them right there? If not, can you promise to him that in the next 30 minutes, you will give it to them? So your unique selling proposition is knowledge. But we don't look at that. So as when we coach with our clients, we tell them to define their unique selling proposition and guarantees. Because without this, and we have documentation, we have templates, and post the session, if anybody of you is interested, I'll take you through all these templates. Because these are the templates that are used globally. So having defined the unique selling proposition and guarantee, I now want to focus on my sales and marketing. And we talk in terms of the 5 ways of growing the business. This is called our business chases, or a chassis, as you may want to call it. Most business owners that I talk to, they talk to me about 3 things: how many customers they have, what are the revenues that they are making, and how much profit they make. These are things that they know. So now I'm taking this data that they have into a mathematical formula. So let's put some numbers in. And I've put in 8 different parameters out here, 5 in blue and 3 in red. 3 are what the customers just told me, the number of customers, the revenue, and the profit. And you will see 2 different color combinations. And if you were in a webinar, if you're in a workshop, I would ask you, what is the difference between the 2 colors? And most of you would say the red are important to me. And I would say, to the contrary, the red are not important to me, because anything that follows a equal to sign is an outcome. And I am not here to do the outcome. I am here to take actions. I am more interested in these 5 areas: the number of leads, conversion rate, number of transactions, average dollar sale, and profit margins. And I'm going to put in some numbers out here. Let's put some numbers out here. For example, your number of leads are 4,000. Your conversion rate is 25%. This is the number of leads that you generate and how many are getting converted into customers. So you get about 1,000 odd customers. Each customer, on an average, buy twice from you. Some could buy once, some could buy 10 times, but on an average, twice. Your average dollar sale is 100. Again, average. Some could buy $1, some could buy $1,000. Your revenue is $200,000. Your profit margins are 25%, and this business is generating 50% revenue, 50% profits. Bottom line, 200,000 revenue and 50,000 profit. Let's put some additional numbers to it and make it more interesting. Now, my question to you is, how many lead generation strategies do you have? And many businesses that I talk to, I hear 1, 2, 3. At the most I've heard is 5 strategies. 5 strategies that I have heard. And on top of that, if I ask them, of those 5 strategies, which of them are actually generating revenue for you, the measurement is lacking. We spend money in 5 different areas, 5 different strategies. I'm assuming it's 5, and you put in 5 different areas, and we are not measuring the MROI, the marketing ROI of the money that I'm putting in those strategies. I was talking to a business owner the other day. He had 2 strategies. He was putting in money in 60% money in one strategy and 40% money in another strategy. And he was saying, okay, both are working because I'm getting X amount of leads. I said, go and measure. He came back to me after a month, again very tomato faced. And he said, Malad, you know, I'm ready to sack all my marketing team because the 60% money that is going in a lead generation doesn't result in one single lead because we measured it now. All our leads are coming in from the 40%, where we are investing 40%. And it's a no-brainer that tomorrow, what will happen to that 60%? You will pull it out and put into where the leads are coming from. So just by measuring your leads and increasing the number of leads, the minimum that you can grow is a 10% increase in lead generation. And we as action coaches, we are fortunate because we have developed it over the last 26 years. We have over 80 odd lead generation strategies, and I can share them with you right away, post the session. I can share that document with you. Now, not all of those 80 strategies will work in every business. So we need to pick and choose which are the 7, 8, 10 strategies that will work, which are the least expensive ones, because I don't want you to put in money, too much money. But the fact of the matter is, just by measuring, there's a good possibility you will have a 10% increase, if not more. You may grow by 25%. But here we are assuming a 10%, and the leads go up to 4,400. Your conversion rate was 25%. The conversion rate was 25%. Again, what are you doing to increase your conversion rate? Are you talking to each of those customers? Are you building relationships? Or are you a postman? You get an email and you respond to that email. Because we believe that for a sale to happen, there should be at least 5 times relationship that needs to be built up. So measuring the number of leads, measuring the conversion rate, talking to your customers, building relationships, you can grow your conversion rate by 10%. I'm not sorry, not 10% of 25%, not 35%. I'm saying 10% on 25%, which is 27.5% minimum. You can grow it. You can grow it much more. Can I assure you this? And if your strategies don't work, I have with my action coach piggy bag, I have another 60 odd strategies for conversion rate, of which 2 or 3 can work for you certainly. So if your number of leads go up by 10%, your conversion rate goes up by 10%, your customers have gone up to 1,210, because it's the power of multiplication. You can do the maths sitting wherever you are. Average number of transactions. And again, a question to all of you. I hope you have a database of your past, present customers and your prospects. How many customers, past customers, have you written to in the last 90 days? I'm asking you to write 4 times to all your customers. You have spent so much time and energy and money into acquiring a customer. Why are you not spending energy? Money is very limited, and certain amount of time into retaining your customers. There is something that is called as a customer lifetime value. Are we leveraging on that? How do you ensure? I was talking to this real estate guy the other day, and he says, Malay, but someone buys from me only once in 7 years. I am in the selling space of flats. I said, okay, how much money do you, what's the average sale? This is about 2 crores, 2.5 crores is the property price, and I make about 2-3%. I said, fantastic. So there is a possibility that you can make a 3% of 2 crores every 7 years. He said, yes. I said, okay. I am asking you to write to your customer once in 90 days, a handwritten card. Buy a card, from the market, handwrite something because handwritten is still preferred. How much will it cost you? And this we were talking in terms in January, so we had some hard numbers. He said at the most 200 rupees. I said 250 rupees. I said okay. So 4 times in the year 1,000 rupees. He said yes. 7 years 7,000 rupees. I said, yes. Is 7,000 rupees are too much of an investment to make when you're trying to sell a property of 2.5 crores? Think about it. Have we started taking our customers for granted, our past customers, and running after new customers? Because if you're not doing it, someone else is doing it. So you can increase the number of transactions from your customer. And I'm not talking in terms of doubling it or tripling it. I'm saying 10% growth on 2, which is 2.2. How much does your customer buy when he buys from you on average? Take this typical McDonald's example. You go to a McDonald's, I go frequently to McDonald's. I like this burgers, the veg burgers. And I have, my mind is set that I want only my veg burger. But I go there and this young lady or a man, young guy standing there, sir, thank you very much for coming to McDonald's. Can I offer you something? I said, I want a veg burger. He says, thank you very much, sir, for placing that order. Can I give you something else? Fries? Can I give you a cup of coffee, some juice? And once I asked them to tell this to everybody, they said, yes, we have been taught to tell it to everybody. Is our salesperson trained to sell, to oversell, to upsell? Does our customer know all the products that we have? And I asked this McDonald guy once, when I was talking to him, that how many customers convert? He says, sir, about 30% convert, 3 of 10 convert, 30% convert हो ही जाते हैं sir. और कितना billing होता है sir? Double तो हो ही जाता है. So he's talking about 30% customers doubling their average dollar sale, average rupee sale, whatever you may call it. One of my coaching compatriots of Action Coach, he once tried it out with his hair cutter about a year back. So he says, I am a coach and I need to look well groomed. He said, yes. I need to come here every month to have a haircut. He said, yes, but I cannot come every month. I forget coming every month. Can you put in a WhatsApp end of every month for me to come? He says, yes. So every month, this guy started getting a WhatsApp reminder. So ideally, he was supposed to go for 12 times. He didn't go for 12 times. He went 6 times. But by getting that WhatsApp message, he went there 9 times, 50% growth. And when he went there, this guy would come in, says, can I do your manicure? Would you like a facial? Would you like a face scrub? And the dollar value and the rupee value kept on increasing. So there are multiple ways of doing it, provided our salespeople have been trained to do it. But here also, I'm not talking in terms of doubling or tripling. I'm saying, can we grow our average dollar sale by 10%? 210. Now, with all this, my 4 actions that I've taken, and in all these 4, we have about 70, 60, 60, 70 strategies ourselves to share with our coaching client. Your revenue should also grow by 10%. So from 200,000 should go to $210,000, but wrong. That's the power of multiplication factors, and your revenue has gone to 292,000, which is a growth of 46%. By doing what? By measuring your leads, focusing on the number of transactions, right customers, and training your salespeople to talk to your customers about all the products that you have. You can grow your revenues by 46%, and any accountant or anyone with financial knowledge in this room will tell you that if your revenues have grown, your profit margins, because your fixed costs have not grown significantly, your profit margins has to grow, And I'm not talking in terms of a 50% growth or a 70% growth. I'm talking in terms of a 10% growth. And even if those don't work, we have another 60 strategies to help you grow your profit margins. So a 27.5% growth in profit margins will lead to a profit of 80,525, which is a 46% increase in your revenue and a 61% increase in your profits. Imagine today, by taking 8 actions, your minimum increase in your revenue should be 50% and your cash flow should be positive. By looking at your accounts receivable, by looking at your admin costs, by looking at your accounts payable, 9 actions. By looking at your inventory management, by looking at your lead generation, by looking at your conversion, by looking at your average dollar sale, by looking at your number of transactions, and by looking at your profit margins, you can increase your revenue by 46% and a 61% increase in profit. This is all mathematical. You can do the numbers and you will find this and find for yourself that this is no humbug that I'm talking about. And this has been practically demonstrated with organizations. Now, are we ready to do it? That's the whole question. Now you have 46% increase in revenue and 61% increase in margins. What can you do with it? You can buy a new car, you can get a room with a view, or you have time. As a business owner, you have time. You have 300 extra hours with you. You can do that. This is where your creating of your niche comes in. You have to define your USP. You have to define your guarantees. You have to get into a non-discounting way of doing business. And focusing on these 5 areas, the sales can spike up. And I'll tell you, past experiences, you can grow not by 10%. Somewhere you'll grow by 20, somewhere you'll go by 5, but on average, you can easily grow by 15%. Think it over. Because once you have done this, now you have cash in hand. Not only are you a profitable enterprise, highly profitable enterprise, but also you're an enterprise which has a strong cash flow in place. So once the strong cash flow is in place, now it's time to leverage. Leverage is all about an organization that is working on autopilot mode. And for us, leveraging is creating systems. And systems definition for us, saving yourself stress, time, energy, and money. Do more with less. Why do you have to work 12 hours to be paid for 12 hours? You should work for 1 hour and get paid for 12 hours. That's leveraging. And for leveraging, we have 9 steps of systemizing our business. These are Brad Sugar's books on Amazon. You can go and buy them. So Instant Systems is a great book. Instant Cash Flow is a great book. Just by reading the books, you can do so much more. And like I said, when we were talking in terms of the 3 runways for growth, you need to look at your vision statement. So you need to come out with your vision statement. What is the big dream that you can now see for yourself? Now you're no longer constrained by cash, no longer constrained by profits, no longer constrained by revenue. What is that big vision that you have in place? What is the dream that you get up every morning with, which gives you a kick on your backside? Let's go and do it. That is the first step. So we help you defining the mission statement. Once the mission statement is done, your mission statements have to come in. What are all the things that we will do? The mission should be the why of our existence. The mission is the what of our existence. What are all those things that I will do? Like, there's a very interesting vision statement of a gentleman who says this world should be a fun place. That's the big dream. Everybody in this world should be happy. That was the vision of Disney. He went and started the missions of making people happy. Once you have a vision and mission in place, what are your cultures? Now, there's nothing right or wrong about culture. What is right or wrong about is not having a culture statement. I need to understand what are the rules of the business that you will play the game in. When you hire people, What is the culture that you're going to communicate to them, that these are my organization cultures? And when we define culture statements, we say the first four should be of the business owner, something that he stands for blindly. These are something that are uncompromisable from a business owner's perspective. What are those things? And then you take 4 from the team and 4 from the suppliers and vendors, and you create your culture statement. We have a 14-point culture statement that all business coaches, and none of us are employees of Action Coach. We are all franchisees. We are all partners to that business, but all of us stand by those culture statements. So if you want to have a look at it, go to actioncoach.com and you will find on the first page itself our 14 cultures. You need to define your rules of your business. And I'm again saying nothing right or wrong. It is your culture statement. People who want to get aligned with you have to get aligned with you on those culture statements. Now, you cannot break those culture statements yourself. You may keep on revising them over time, but you cannot break them. So once those 3 parameters are set, your vision is known, your mission has been done, your cultures are done, now you are getting into systemizing the business, because these are 3 of yours as a business owner. Now you're building the system. You're saying, what are the goals of various departments of the business? Why do various departments exist? What are SMART goals? And all of you know SMART, but SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, result-oriented, time-bound. Every individual, every business, every arm of your business should have SMART goals, and that those need to be revised. Now, who's building those SMART goals? If you don't build those SMART goals, you will have people who are doing nothing in your organization. Once the departmental, divisional, business SMART goals are done, you get into your organization's chart. Today, you may have an organization chart. Oh, it's okay. But I want you to look at your organization chart when your business is complete. The first phase of your business is complete, and you're ready to hand over. And you're ready to hand over the business to somebody else. How do you think your organization chart will look like? Who are those people that you will require? Today, when you draw the chart, there could be multiple boxes where you're putting in your name. That's okay, as long as you know what does those boxes stand for. What are the competencies that the box requires? Today, you may not have money to hire that person, but tomorrow when you have money, would you want to hire that person with what competencies? The other thing that that we distinguish at this stage with the business owner is distinguish between ownership and management. If an owner is coming to the business as a management, and he writes vice president sales or marketing, or vice president HR, or vice president information technology, or vice president finance, or whatever, then you're no longer an owner, then you are a part of the management, and your name should be part of that organization's chart, and you should have positional contract. Every individual in the organization should have positional contract. I can share with you samples. What is that role? What is the job description? What will that person do on a day-to-day basis? What are the person's results? How will the person be measured with? Because if you don't have this, how will you measure a person? If you're working with us and you tell us 10% increment to everybody end of the year, I will say not possible, because every individual has contributed differently in the organization. So the returns have to be different. So we need to design positional contracts. And ideally, when we start hiring people, or when we move into that transition, we put in 3 levels of remuneration. One is fixed. Why does a person come to work and he gets paid X amount of money? He's there to do certain work activities. For that, he gets his variable, that is Y. If he achieves those the activities, he gets his Y. But like I keep on telling a lot of people, learning is fine, but results come out of action. So if the actions are right, the results have to come out. And if whatever the results are, then he should give a bonus. So he's working towards results of the organization. He's not working for the time that is spending in that organization. And many of us, please remember this, you look around yourself, many of the people in the organization are coming there for the time that they spend. They believe it's their birthright. Since they've come at 9 in the morning and gone home at 6, they deserve a certain amount of money, which is, according to us, not acceptable. Yes, they deserve a certain amount of money for coming to work, but the balance money they'll get out of results that they're bringing into the organization. We tell in terms of when somebody was hiring a salesperson, I said, how are you going to measure that salesperson? What is the salaries that you're going to give? Because if you're going to give 10,000 salary, I want 10x time returns from that person as far as sales. Are you doing that? So every month, that person has to generate a lakh of rupees. Minimum, ideally 20x, but at a starting 10x. Because the 10x, please understand, the margins are 12%. The margins are 12%. By giving 10% away for generating sales, your margin has now come down to 2%. So ideally, it should be 20x or 30x, because then as a business, you start making money. So positional contracts, absolutely paramount. Most businesses don't have it. They get this appointment letter. Please join on such and such date, your job description in such and such, your reporting authority such and such, these are your leave, etc. So those are humbug documents according to us. Those are documents that you take for getting your next job. That I'm working here with so much of salary. So once the positional contracts are done, then we look at the key performance indicators of every individual in the business. Performance. What is the outcome? And this is where the bonus comes up. That these are the performance indicators, and if this is achieved, you get that bonus. And for every individual, whether it is a owner part in a management role or as an employee, every single individual should have his KPIs. Once the KPIs are done, so once everything is set in place, then you get into the systems, the SOPs. Because there's no point doing the systems if your organization structure is not clear, if your goals are not clear, if your positional contracts are not clear. You don't get into how-to systems. You get into your how-to systems at this stage. And once the how-to systems are done, which takes time in implementing, then you can go and play your golf or party or go on a holiday, knowing very well that on a Friday or a Saturday evening, your MIS would come to you. So you develop robust MIS systems that whatever has happened, no one can fudge that data because it's MIS that is getting generated. No one is generating it himself or herself. It is getting auto-generated. It comes to you. So management systems have come. So now you have systemized the business. So you have created a commercial, profitable, that works. But now is the most important piece when I say, how will it work without you? Now we need to focus on the team. Now, leveraging and team are done only when you have cash in hand. Now, let's think about your team. Most employees are motivated, energetic, enthusiastic, committed, loyal. All of us know this. Close your eyes for 30 seconds or 15 seconds. Visualize each of your employees and put in these words to all your employees. Put in words to all your employees, and you will know that they are all that except for the 8 hours they work for you. This is not my statement. This is Tom Peters, a great leadership coach, who says, except for the 8 hours a day they work for you, they're committed, motivated, everything. Now, as a business coach, my job is to get the right people on the bus, because winning teams know how to get the right people on the bus. You don't want any XYZ. So what is your hiring plan? How are you hiring people? Are you going by that same advert method and same that the junior guys, the junior HR guy, lady interviewing your senior ma'am, the VP as a first level interview? What does this lady know? What is she checking for? We check for psychometrics. We do the disc analysis because it's not the work that you are going to do. Are you going to fit into that organization culturally? Are you going to have fun in that organization? What kind of personality are you? We do multiple psychometric assessments, including DISC, because globally it has been seen that the relationship of the team with the customers is directly proportional to the relationship the owner has with the team. So the more the team is taken care by the owner or gets importance from the owner, the more the team will go and take care of the customers. The more the customer gets importance from the team, the more he will do business with you and refer your business to somewhere else. And more the business grows, the business will take care of you. But today, the ground reality is, as the business owner, you're taking care of the business, you're taking care of the team, you're taking care of the customers, and everything is in the merry-go-round. My job as a coach, if we were to work together, or the businesses that I work with are focusing on the team. What do you need to do the team? How do you build up strong leadership? Learning leadership is difficult. Learning the technical elements is easy. The softer skills are difficult. How do you learn management? How do you learn leadership? How do you align everybody, all individuals being different, and everybody to the common goal? How do you keep them motivated towards the common goal? How do you ensure that the culture, the rules of the game are being followed? Or if required, they are being tweaked? What is the action plan that you have? Currently, one of the businesses that I'm coaching, we said that people are working in remote places. How do you set action plans? So every Friday evening, every individual has to send their to-do list to their bosses. Every Friday evening, they will not stop till the to-do list is done. Every Monday morning, there's a group call between everybody in the organization. There were 120 people, and everybody takes a minute or so to talk about their goals for the week. Thursday evening, the bosses get into one-to-one conversation with their team members to see where are they on the action plan and the goals that they had set, and what are the additional roadblocks / opportunities that have come up. And on the Friday evening, before they go, they now give an outcome of what the goals that they had set for that week, and what are their action plans for next week. How many organizations are doing it? But without that, your organization will not move ahead in the same direction. You will have boat. You will all be like a boat, and everyone rowing in different directions, and your boat going nowhere. As a business owner, you need to learn how to support risk taking. You are a big risk taker yourself. That's why you're in business. But how are you going to support risk taking of others? And up to what level? What should be the stop losses? And how do you involve everybody and include everybody as part of your team? Because you have to build relationships. You have to manage relationships. Because once this is done, and you've been able to instill this, there will be always challenges, but once this is overall done, you have now got freedom. The first 4 steps, if done, have got you freedom, because now you're looking at the synergy and the results, which is growth and your freedom. Because you now need to duplicate whatever you have done. You can't take the business anywhere you want to. You can go and you can even sell out the business at this stage, because now your business is itself a product. Or you can get passive income. Quoting Richard Branson, he says, if you learn to run one business successfully, there's no reason you can't do with any number of businesses at the same time. The principles are the same. But for that, you should be able to detach yourself from that business by creating the structure. And this is possible for you. This is the time when you get passive income. This is the time when you get passive income. With that money, you can invest somewhere else. You become an investor. You can go and fulfill your personal goals. You can do so many other things. Quoting Jim Rohn, one of the great leadership coaches, business coaches the world has ever seen. He passed away a few years back, but I've been following him for the last 15 years. And he's made 2 important statements which stand which will probably stand true for the end of the world. Never wish your life was easier, wish you were better. Businesses will not get easier. Businesses will keep on getting tougher. Competition will increase. Technology will come in. Newer players will come in. The youth will come in with newer ideas. So nothing in this world is going to become easier. Only wish you were better. You have to work harder on yourself than you do on your business, because if you work harder on yourself, your business will automatically grow. We talk in terms of a formula called as B times do is equal to have. Now, for example, if have is 100, I know what I want to have, 100, and I as B is 1, BE. So to achieve that 100 of have, I need to achieve 100 different do's. So 1 times 100 will be 100. But just imagine, again, the power of multiplication factor. If I were to marginally improve myself and go from 1 to 3, now to achieve that 100, I need not do 100 different things. I need to do only 33 things now. And if I continue to do those 100 things, then I don't achieve 1,000, I don't achieve 100, I achieve 300. So choice is on us. I made this statement in early April when I started coaching, when I started doing my webinars. I said, what you do in the next 8 weeks of your life will determine how much successful you are in your lifetime. 8 weeks beginning April, 8 weeks coming to an end of May. You may call it prediction, you may call it whatever. But these 8 weeks have given us that time, that the visibility of our life, which if we wanted, we could have achieved a lot. I've seen so many people spending 6-7 hours with Netflix, Amazon Prime. I'm not saying don't do it. You need your I time, you need your me time, you need your family time, you need your professional time. I'm saying, what is your PD time? Where is your professional development time? 1 hour a day? Not possible? I refuse to believe. Honestly, I refuse to believe if I can't get 1 hour of a day to upskill myself for personal development. Finally, as we close, Brad Sugars, founder of Action Coach, chairman of Action Coach, done it for the last 26 years. He has made a statement, and he made the statement a year back. Where you will be 5 years from now depend on the books you read, the people you associate, and the actions you take. Learning is all fine. I've seen so many webinars, and I'm sure you guys have seen so many webinars happening, so much knowledge sessions happening, so much interest in doing webinars and so on and so forth. But that is only knowledge. Results don't come from knowledge, results come from action. So the knowledge has to be translated into action, and the action will bring in results. So what actions are you willing to take on yourself today? As Action Coach, how do we work? And this is something that I want to share with you, knowing very well that there's no commitment on either side. Our coaching system is an annual program of 48 weeks. Every week there is a 1 hour, one to 1.5 hour per week on a scheduled time, either face-to-face or on Zoom. As a business owner, if you're signing up for this program, you will need to invest additional 4 to 5 hours per week working on the business, implementing the strategies that we agree. And I, as a coach, will invest additional time critiquing your work and brainstorming with my fellow coaches for giving you that speed, because we now need to give you speed. As a gift for today's session, there are 2 gifts. Some of you have already received it. Some of you who haven't received it, there's a book, ebook by Brad Sugars. It is called as Survive and Thrive in the Post-COVID Era. I'll be sharing that book today. And there's also the second gift that I'm giving. There's a business health check document. We typically have a fee attached to it because a lot of people get into only business health check. This is a self-analyze of your business. Now the give is, I will give this to you. If you want to have a conversation around this with me, I'm happy to have a conversation around this document after you have filled it up and sent to me. Again, no commitments from either side, because you may not want coaching, and I may not want to coach your business, because not everyone is coachable. Right? What can you expect from me, even during this business, during this business health check discussion? I will be a friend who wants you to succeed, but I will be an unreasonable friend. Don't expect me to tag your line always. You have to justify for every action. So if you were to engage as on a professional basis, the step one is positioning, where I'll vividly share with you what you can expect from me for the next 12 months. The next is an alignment. This is called the alignment consultation, where we align business and personal goals of all the family members who are involved in the business. And this takes about 4 to 5 hours. And you can just do this and say rest you will manage. But as an outcome, we look at 8 to 10, maximum 12 goals that we want to achieve in the next 12 months, because we know you have a business to run, and you cannot be just letting go of the business to do this. About 8 to 12 goals, working on the Pareto's principle. Do it on a quarterly basis. And no matter how good, tough you think you are, quoting Tiger Woods, you can't do this on your own. So whoever it is, find somebody who will help you at least have somebody to share your ideas with. Time to take action, get into action. And here's where I stop for the day. Thank you very much for your time. And I'm open to questions. You can unmute yourself or put in the chat box, and I'm open to any questions that you may have. Yes, please. Any questions that I can address? Rajesh Putoria, looks impossible. Initially, when we spoke about, I think it's possible. I think it's very much possible that you can achieve everything that you have got, that you want from your business. Any other questions that I can address? I will just quickly share with you the business health check document, how it looks like. This is the business health check document that will go to all of you, and you can start filling it up. You can either look at it and decide. This is the most important, the lead generations, that is one. What are your sales goals? And this piece, what are your leaderships? This entire 1 and 2, yourself as a business owner. You can look at it, you can do whatever you want to with it. I am there to have a conversation with you on this document as well. Is there anything that I can address, or shall we call it a day? I'll wait for 5 minutes for any questions, or we will move on. Mehul, thank you very much for coming. Narayan, thank you very much. Rajesh, Shehzad, Shushma, Mr. Bagaria, Saroj, thank you very much. Okay, there's some questions that have come. Can we have a session with you? Where can I? Yes. Yes, certainly. What I will do, Shehzad, by end of today, on your emails, you will have this document. Once you have this document, please, and this goes to everybody in this room, since have everybody in this room. Once you have this document, please share this with me. Please share. Yeah, Shehzad, I'll answer both your questions. Rajesh, I'll answer your question. So for everybody in this room, this document will be shared with you by end of today to everybody who has been part of this webinar, and that's our give. And my gift continues. Once you have shared this document, please email it back to me, honestly filling up everything that you have about this document. Then we will schedule our 1 hour Zoom call on this, where we can have a candid conversation about this document, and I'll have some questions to ask, and you may want to share things with you. So that's that, Shehzad. Post that, if you see value in what I'm saying, we can get into a formal engagement, or we can end at that stage itself. Addressing Rajesh, yes, we take remote assignments since you're based. Yeah, everyone who's based outside of Bombay, I have clients all over Bombay. The way we work is that today COVID, but hopefully in another month or so, COVID will be over. We will have, wherever you are, because we do it on a weekly, every session, we have 48 sessions, 1 session per week. Every month, we will have 1 face-to-face session. I will travel to your place wherever you are. And the rest of the 3 sessions will be via Zoom. So it really doesn't matter where you are based in India. You may be in Kolkata. I am currently working with a client who's in Gurgaon. I haven't met him. It's all been through Zoom as of now, but as soon as the lockdown ends, I'll travel. So 4 sessions a month. So our programs are 48 sessions in a year, assuming that there are 52 weeks, and assuming 4 weeks you and I will travel. So 48 sessions between 1 to 1.5 hours every session on a predetermined time. Of those 4 sessions in a month, 3 sessions on 3 sessions on Zoom or telecon, and 1 session face-to-face wherever you are. So that's that. Shehzad Zaveri, I will also send you that ebook of Brad Sugars, and rest of the Brad Sugars books you can buy online from Amazon, and I'll share that list of the Brad Sugars books as well, which are equally good. But one book that I'm going to give you today as a gift. Consulting fees, Mehul. Consulting fees are structured in a way dependent on how the business is. So consulting fees will be discussed only after the analysis of the business health check document has been done. And after that, if you see any value of us going forward, if both of us see value in going forward, because I want to work with business owners who are not looking at 10% growth, but who are looking at the 30-40% growth, only then I'll be able to add value. Otherwise, 10% you will grow on your own. So Mehul, please send me the business health check document, and then we will schedule a call, and then we can discuss further. My phone numbers are this. This is for everybody. Okay, for everybody. So my phone numbers are for everybody in this room. This is my phone number, WhatsApp number. At any point in time you want to have a conversation, please drop in a WhatsApp and we can schedule a call. Is there anything else that I can answer? Thank you, Mehul, for your question. Thank you, Shehzad, for your question. And thank you, Rajesh, for your question. I hope I've answered them. I know Bagaria, I think, is also from Calcutta. Saroj is very much in Bombay. Shushma, we haven't spoken, so I don't know from where Shushma is. Narayan, I do not know from where Narayan is. Which was that book on systems? Narayan, also from Calcutta. Mehul, I will send you that entire list. That book on systems is called as Instant System. Instant System by Brad Sugars. You have also Instant Cash Flow. Yeah, so instant system was on that 4th level. On that 4th level. So for every level, there are different books. So instant cash flow, Narayan is on the cash flow piece. So you can look at that. And I will send you a list of all the books. Again, today on your emails, I'll send you all the books that Brad Sugars has written and are available on Amazon. So I'll send you 3 things. I'll send you the business health check document. I'll send you the ebook of Brad Sugars on Survive and Thrive. and I will send you the list of Brad Sugar books. Yes, Mehul, Instant Cash Flow also by Brad Sugars. You will also, if you go to YouTube, you will find a lot of Brad Sugars videos. So those also are great learning. If you go to action, if you go to actioncoach.com, you will also see a lot of videos. So we are somebody who is constantly giving, right? So our job is to give that business re-education. We are not teaching you how to run a business. You are champions in running a business. We are just telling you how to reach your goals faster. Anything else that I can answer? Narayan, thank you so much for coming in. Mehul, thank you so much. Great having you. Rajesh, great having you here. Shehzad, look forward to communicating with you. I'm not Mr. Bagaria. He's been quiet. Naushad been very quiet. Bharadwaj, Saroj has been a great learner from all of us. Thank you so much, guys. There's nothing else. Then I am going to log off in next 2 minutes. And if there's something, please keep on typing and I will be here as long as it's required. No? Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Great having you. And I look forward to staying connected. Narayan, thank you so much. Look forward to staying connected with all of you. Thank you so much, guys. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and be ready to sprint with your businesses. Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you so much. Thank you all. I'm logging off for now if there is nothing else that I need to answer.